Listen closely, defenders. This is a Priority 1 threat briefing. I'm issuing a Code Ninja security advisory for CVE 2026-20133. What we're looking at is a severe information disclosure flaw in the Cisco Catalyst SD-WAN Manager. Your network's perimeter is on the line, and what you do in the next few minutes is going to determine its security.
And let me be perfectly clear about this. This isn't some theoretical vulnerability or a proof of concept cooked up in a lab. Threat actors are out there actively exploiting this in the wild, right now. This is a live fire situation, and it's impacting critical network infrastructure.
Okay, first things first, let's break down the zero-day itself. Our goal here is to really understand the immediate danger and see just how quickly this whole thing escalated into a federal-level issue.
Just look at this timeline. The clock is absolutely ticking. It was first discovered back on February 25th. By April 19th, we had confirmation of active exploitation. And the very next day, CISA, that's the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, slapped it onto their known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. 2 days after that, federal agencies had a hard deadline to get it fixed. This thing went from discovery to a national security issue in less than 2 months.
Now here's the crucial part. We are operating without an official patch from the vendor. That means just waiting around is not an option. The whole point of this advisory is to arm you, right now, with the intelligence you need to harden your systems and mitigate this threat before a patch becomes available.
All right, before we dive any deeper, we need to do a quick comms check. This is just standard protocol. It's to make sure you're set up to receive future, real-time intelligence from our team. So stand by.
First step, subscribe to @cybertech79 and make sure you turn on notifications. Think of this as establishing a secure comms link. It ensures you get critical intel the second it drops.
Second, I need you to hit like. This isn't for vanity. It's your formal acknowledgement, your ACK that you have received and understood this advisory.
And finally, report your status down in the comments. Are you patched or are you vulnerable? This is vital because it helps us and the whole community gauge the actual blast radius of this thing.
Okay, comms check complete. Let's get into the deep dive. We're going to focus on the blast radius. What's the root cause? Who is actually at risk? And which specific systems are vulnerable?
You know, the interesting thing here is just how simple this flaw is. The root cause is a classic weakness, CVE-200, which is basically exposure of sensitive information. To put it plainly, the system's API just doesn't do a good enough job of checking who is asking for what, and that lets a remote attacker send a specially crafted request and just read sensitive files right off the underlying operating system.
Now, you might notice a little discrepancy here in the CVS scores. NIST has it rated as a 7.5 high, and they're assuming no privileges are needed. But Cisco is rating it a 6.5 medium, assuming an attacker needs low privileges. So, what's our assessment? Trust the vendor on this one. They know their own system. For your defense planning, you have to operate under the assumption that an attacker needs at least low-privilege API access. That's the scenario you build your defense for.
And this table right here tells you exactly who is at risk. I want you to check your deployments against this list right now. If your Cisco Catalyst SD-WAN Manager version falls anywhere inside these ranges, and that goes from anything before 20.9.8.2 all the way up through the 20.18 branch, you are vulnerable. It's really that simple. Find your version, confirm your exposure.
All right, we've defined the threat, so now we pivot to the solution. This is the protocol for immediate mitigation. And just so we're clear, these aren't suggestions. These are mandatory hardening directives for any and all affected systems.
And I'm going to repeat this because it is absolutely critical. We are still waiting for a patch from the vendor. Because of that, this pre-patch hardening is not optional. The steps I'm about to give you are your primary and right now your only line of defense against active exploitation.
So here it is, your 3-step playbook. Step 1, segment your network. Isolate that SD-WAN manager and lock down access to only trusted management IPs. Step 2, audit all of your API accounts. Identify and disable any non-essential or low-privilege accounts immediately. And third, enhance your monitoring. You need to be actively hunting for any signs of compromise.
Let's dig into step 3 a little more. Your threat hunt has to focus on specific indicators. You're looking for unusual API access patterns, especially anything targeting file system resources. You're hunting for any signs of bulk data retrieval or weird outbound transfers, and you need to be scouring your logs for any unauthorized file system requests. Your actions here have to be in full compliance with CISA's emergency directive.
And finally, let's talk for a moment about the ethics of this disclosure.
We practice what's called coordinated vulnerability disclosure. Putting out this public advisory is a deliberate, necessary action, and it's grounded in a very clear ethical principle: protecting users when they are most at risk. This right here, this is the code we operate by. When a vulnerability is being actively exploited and defenders have no patch, public disclosure becomes a duty. It forces action, it speeds up fixes, and most importantly, it gives you the intelligence you need to defend your own networks. It's all about protecting the community.
That concludes this advisory. The intelligence is now in your hands. Implement these protocols, harden your systems, and hunt for any threats. Stay vigilant, stay secure.